Welcome to the Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We are here Saturdays to highlight local entrepreneurs and small business owners to learn how they succeed to build their business from the ground up, what were their challenges, and what are their victories. And the purpose of this show is to put a voice to the local business owners and entrepreneurs, so when you contact them for their services, you have an idea of who they are and who you're talking to. When you buy from one of our guests, you are buying from a local business. Jeanette, how are you doing today?
Well, it's a new year. What happened to 2024? That went way too fast.
Yeah, I just blinked and it was gone.
Are you looking forward to 2025?
I am. Big time. It's a fresh start. You have new goals.
They say that's why God made, day and nights. You can have a fresh start each day and time and everything else.
Yeah.
And I have you done your New Year's resolutions?
I have not. I have my goals, and that's what I want to hit as my goals. So my goal is to, I would like to see this show grow a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. And remember, a goal without a plan is just a dream.
Yeah, and so we're actually working on that. So hopefully we'll have some, like some news in March or something like that. So
yeah, I one of the things, every single year, everybody I think does the same thing. And like our guest that's coming in today, it's all about getting in better health, better shape, because for every single year we get 1 year older. And then after Christmas, and I mean, look, they hit us with all the food and bad stuff in the last quarter. First Halloween, lots of candy. Then Thanksgiving, pies and, lots of food. And then Christmas comes. And again, Christmas has lots of candy and baked goods. In fact, for Christmas, my daughter's a pastry chef. We did the gingerbread men coloring contest, so
nice.
We baked them and then we got all the frostings out and everybody decorated one and then we get it judged.
Yeah.
But so Rooted Movement coming in today. But I think one of the things that I want to try to do more this year is maybe say no.
Yeah.
Everybody asks so many things, and it's always like, oh, yeah, I can squeeze it in. They say if you want to have someone do something, find the busiest person because they'll always squeeze it in. But this year, I want to slow down a bit. I have 2 weddings coming up this year, and I have another grandbaby on the way. And it's just become so stressful trying to squeeze everything in that I'm going to have to learn to start saying no more often.
It's hard to do. I would like to say no more too, but it's saying it and doing it. It's 2 different things. And I'm a person that just likes to help.
Mm-hmm. But then instead of having to say no, I think I need to plan out my schedule so it doesn't become that I have to say no. I have things in place to take care of what's going to same thing. I have now 2 managers in my office.
Yeah.
And so that way I'm able to take all-state trips and hit meetings and go to these things without also having a laptop that I'm having to log into every single morning, weekends, and work extra late. So trying to put things in place to make my life a little bit better.
Well, good.
Well, they say no one puts on their tombstone, I wish I would have worked more.
Yeah, exactly. We want to work smarter, not harder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hey, really quick, I wanted to just do a shout out to Zach from Mid Valley Pawn really quick.
Oh, yeah. That's, they were guests. And even my purse that I have in here today, I got that from Mid Valley Pawn. I had it on layaway. I paid it off. And when they got hit, that snatch and grab.
Yeah.
And it was so scary. And you know what? I want to say something too. They haven't caught these people. Some of those camera angles, you know how they got that crazy guy that shot the CEO in the back.
Yeah.
And he had a mask on and they just showed his eyes and a McDonald's worker recognized him.
Yeah.
And they have some videos. I want to encourage everybody. I mean, there's like 4,000 listeners out there.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage everyone, take a look at the video of that robbery. These are color security cameras. They haven't caught these guys yet. Mm-hmm. And really take a look at it. Somebody out there, share it on your Facebook. somebody out there might just know who these people are. They terrorize them, guns.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible.
The manager, he said he was thinking about his wife and his kids.
Yeah.
And these kind of businesses, unlike, let's say, Target, they can just go, oh, we lost this inventory. Let's just order new. And let's, again, call the insurance company.
Yeah.
But when they call their insurance company, where are they going to get these things? I mean, this is years and years of serving the community, people bringing things in and trading and, buying and selling. So it's not like they can just restock on these items, but they are going to get more security. They're going to have an armed guard. So
that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't afford to lose. They lost over $500,000 worth of merchandise.
Yeah, that's terrible. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. So I just wanted to do a shout out to them really quick. So I'm glad they're okay. Everybody was fine, and I
don't think you're ever really fine after
physically,
something like that.
Yeah,
that
physically,
happens.
yeah. No,
I mean,
I'm sure they're probably still shaken up. It's traumatizing, more than we know because we weren't going through it, but luckily everybody was okay physically, and
and you look at the video, and the two guys walk in first, and they have a policy of no masks because they have the cameras, and you can hear them going, "Hey, gentlemen, you need to take your masks off." And just when they said that, they pulled those guns, and three other guys, I think it was three others, just came in behind them, and they're telling them all to lay down on the floor. That is scary. And then again, they're smashing all the glass cabinets and everything else. So really, give them your business. Be supportive of the small business person.
Yeah.
Mid-Valley Pawn in Turlock.
Yeah, on Main Street.
Yes.
And then follow them on Facebook and Instagram. And take a look at their pictures, and like you said, share them. And, maybe we can get these, maybe we help get these guys caught. So
somebody's got to know who they are.
Yeah. So anyway, transitioning to Rooted Movement, we were talking about getting ready for the new year. A lot of people have those goals of, I want to get in better shape. I want to lose weight.
Always.
Yeah. So I started working with...
You've done great.
Thank you. Yeah, I started working with Rooted Movement in April of last year, and I am down... I got down to 249, so that's my lowest so far. I was at 306.
But you're tall, too. So
I can hold it pretty good, but still I look like a little weeble wobble there for a while, so or like a tall weeble wobble. So they kind of helped me strategize, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I got so much going on. And if you're looking for a gym, I would encourage you to reach out to Rooted Movement. We're going to have Rick in here in a little bit. With Rooted Movement, you get nutrition because Marcel is a certified nutritionist. Mm-hmm. You get the workout.
Yeah, they put it all together for you.
Yeah, they put programs together for you. And they're a local business. Mm-hmm. You can have access to their gym 24 hours a day.
Somebody once told me, if you want to know about weight loss, find someone who's overweight. They know every single weight loss that's out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like weight loss, it does work no matter different ones. But when it comes down to it, it's you. You have to do it. We all know what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it is discouraging because it takes so much energy to lose the weight because the body's trying to make itself survive.
Yeah.
So it's going to fight you. But it takes so little to gain weight, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's definitely a discussion because the body's going like, oh, a little extra weight. Oh, that's extra food I can store for the hard times.
Yeah.
But when you try to lose, the body's going to say, no. This is extra food for storage for when the buffalo aren't running in the season.
Yeah, so we're going to have Rick Garcia in here in a little bit to talk more about his gym, and it's a good way to start. Their workout. I got 30 seconds, but their workout programs are tailored to you, so you don't get sore, you don't get discouraged. And
he's all about movement, and that's the problem with us in the world these days. We're not working labor. A lot of us that are overweight, and we're sitting at desks.
Exactly.
We're sitting glued to computers.
Reach out to more information about our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email us at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. So our guest today is Rick Garcia, co-owner of Rooted Movement. Rick, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for having me.
Good,
perfect.
good. Yeah, so we were talking about you in our last segment, how your local business, your gym's 24 hours, accessible.
Yes, we give all our members a key code that they can enter in so that they can train and move at the convenience of their schedule so that they're not limited by when we're actually in-house.
Well, we can see the proof of the pudding, so to say. I shouldn't say pudding. I'm sorry. But Justin, you look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's all because of you, Rick, right?
Well,
Marisol.
Madi and myself kind of form a wonderful team. We're the nutritional and movement components. She handles the nutrition side, and I handle the movement and strength training portions of it.
Yeah.
So it's a good kind of holistic team approach.
Let's talk about the movement part for a second because so my schedule is changing to where I will be actually more active in the truck. So I think that'll be good because I've kind of hit a wall.
A little bit of plateau.
Yeah, plateau. Yeah, there you go. And so I got down to 249 and from 306. So I'm still happy about that.
Absolutely. That's tremendous, man.
Yeah. And I'm not really in a big hurry to lose much more weight. I do want to move it, but I'm at the point now where I got to start buying new clothes.
Right.
And I'm not ready. I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. So,
well, what you learned firsthand is that most of your body composition weight loss goals are driven by food. And then the things that you put into your body, and you can make a tremendous amount of headway and benefit just by changing what you eat. And as you've learned, you're not starving. It's putting more nutritious food into your system, eating the calories that are appropriate for you and your goal. And then the movement side of it will just make you feel better, move better. And then if you do hit a plateau, building some more muscle mass kind of gets that metabolic engine running a little bit faster and more efficiently. And then it'll start break through that plateau and keep going in the direction you want to go. But at some point, you have to stop losing weight, and you got to start getting strong and moving well.
Yeah, and I think where I'm at is I haven't been to the gym, so I'm not really building muscle like I should be because that's like kryptonite to me sometimes is that gym.
That's all right.
It's getting there. So
what I tell people is you don't have to love it. You got to do it. There's a lot of things that we don't love that we have to do. Right?
Yeah, the first segment we were talking about the discipline and how, I mentioned that if you want to know about weight loss, ask anyone that's overweight because they've tried every weight loss that there is in the world, but you got to stick to it.
You got to stick to it. Every diet works. It's the one that works for your lifestyle, that you can maintain and be consistent with. And that's the one thing that Madi does incredibly well is tailoring your daily intake to things that are realistic to your lifestyle instead of just giving you a one-stop shop approach. She kind of really
because I'm stuck in a chair and he was stuck in, behind a driver's seat.
Yeah.
And so trying to fit those, it's not one size fits all, but it also takes this. But you got to love yourself enough. Yep. And if you don't love yourself enough, especially with, I think, a lot of women, they'll do anything for their kids.
Yeah.
If the doctor doesn't want to see the kid because your child is sick, you're going to be, I'm coming down and I'm going to sit there until you're going to see it. But when they are sick, it's like, oh, you can't see me this week. Oh, that's okay. I'll just, so the thing is you have to love yourself enough to get yourself in the best shape for those you love that you're willing to go to the ends of the earth with.
And it starts with your goal. You have to have a reason. If your reason is just to, hey, I'd like to feel better every day. I'd like to do things around the house easier. And when I move around, I don't want to feel this ache and pain. That doesn't require a lot of intensity in the gym. That just requires you being a little bit consistent with it. If you have goals that take you to training plans that are slightly more intense, then obviously that's something that you desire because that's your goal.
So let's talk about goals because, you're in shape and you are a returning guest. And so we know what you do and I can see across from me, we just in the results. What are your goals for your business? Because, this is the small business, voice. What are your goals? What's coming up for Rooted Movement?
What we have coming up in this first quarter of the year, so February and March, is Madi and I have wanted to kind of fundraise and create as much create a relationship with American Heart Association, really trying to push creating some money for them so that we could fundraise for them in any way possible. And so in February and March, what we're doing is we have a free community class every Saturday at 9 a.m. that we call Carry Club. It's wonderful. It's beginner friendly. It's really anyone that wants to show up. You'll be surrounded by just good human beings. We're using that hour to potentially bring some vendors in, but also to create some donations for the American Heart Association. So
You've done fundraisers before, so this is something that's a passion of yours, and
absolutely.
using your business to be able to help others.
We are part of a community. We are interwoven with Modesto and the agencies that are around us that want to promote health and fitness. And the more that we can help them, the better. We try to be active participants in where we are.
Yeah, I was reading the statistics the other day about women, if they're going to suffer a heart attack, it's at 75. Men, it's at 65. Yeah. And the heart is a muscle, right? And that's what you're all about.
The heart's a muscle. It is under a tremendous amount of stress based off of not just our daily lives and the diets that we have, but also the stress levels that we carry on. It's affected by a lot of different mechanisms, and we're not getting any younger, as I have
every day.
This gray in my beard shows my age a little bit. It's more important for me now to start focusing on my cardiovascular health, my lung health, so that I can stay on this earth longer, So that's really what we're focused on. As I've gotten away from my 20s and 30s, how healthy I am has become a little bit more of a priority as opposed to just how much I can lift and how I move.
Yeah, you still look pretty young, though.
Man, if I shave, I can sneak into high schools.
Yeah,
So keeping an eye on my daughter, making sure she's not talking to anybody.
Oh, yeah, there we go. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Our guest today is Rick Garcia, co-owner of Rooted Movement, 209-602-5016, or he can be emailed at rick@rootedmovementmodesto.com. And then your address, if you want to go check out their gym, 518 12th Street in Modesto.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're right there off of 12th Street.
Every Saturday at 9 o'clock, there's a free class?
Every Saturday at 9 o'clock, we have a community class that's called Carry Club.
Okay, well, what should a person wear when they come down there? Tennis shoes?
So what I call it is glorified yard work. So really, and then what I joke to our members about is workout clothes is clothes you work out in. Really, you could come in anything that you're comfortable to move in. It happens rain or shine. So if it's raining outside, we'll still be out there. And what we do is we carry weights at different levels, right? And so if you carry weights down at your side, like if you were carrying 2 5-gallon buckets around your yard, that's called a farmer's walk. If you carry a weight on one side but not the other, it's like carrying a suitcase. So it's creatively called a suitcase carry.
Okay.
And as you carry different things, what you do is you load your frame, and it's the easiest and gentlest way to create strength throughout your whole body. And we all do this every single day. We carry groceries, we do yard work.
I was going to say, it sounds like carrying in the groceries because you don't want to make more than one trip. So you're
right?
looking at the trunk,
look at it and,
and it's like 5 bags on each arm. And they say, and I can grab that gallon of milk too.
Yep. And if you do that, right, magically life gets easier. It's really easy. It's simple. It's as hard as you want to make it. Everyone moves at their own pace. And the community just supports each other, and high fives at the end of it. And just it's a good way to start a Saturday.
Nice. See, and then I should pretend that the kitchen's upstairs. When I come in with the groceries, I have to walk up the stairs and then walk back down.
I always say no one has ever regretted being too strong.
Absolutely.
It does make a difference for the heart. We had a dear friend, and he died of a heart attack. But they said that when he had the heart attack, he was a wallpaper hanger. He was hanging heavy sheets of vinyl all the time with his upper body. And they said he had so much muscle built up that it's sad. He sat on a 5-gallon bucket for 3 days after the heart attack, waiting for his wife to come home from a teacher's conference. Wow. And he lived for like 3 days. Could you imagine if he would have just called 911? Yeah. But in those days, this was a long time ago, he couldn't reach the wall phone in the kitchen. There was no cell phones. But, I mean, that just shows that, you have that muscle in your upper chest. You can survive a heart attack.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself, man. And it's not as brutal or as hard. Sometimes people think, cardiovascular work has to be this miserable experience. And it's really a systematic kind of realistic approach to it. Really puts
and women need to lift weights because men, they will survive a heart attack. A lot of times a woman won't because they don't have the same muscle strength.
Humans need to lift weights.
Yeah.
If you have thumbs, shoulders, and hips, you should lift.
So talk to my truck driving friends for a second. So a lot of my friends who are truck drivers have had heart attacks already, and they have survived, luckily.
It's a stressful job, man.
Yeah. So, and I have not had a heart attack, and I thank God for that. Yeah. So what are some exercises like a truck driver could do, like when he's on a break or on lunch?
So, probably the most important thing a truck driver could do in terms of heart health and overall health of your body is doing exactly what you did, is putting in more nutritional foods, things that are going to reduce the overall systemic stress on your body, get your body weight down a little bit, get healthier nutrients going in. And then really what truck driving does is it beats up your shoulders and your hips. Any hip stretches and chest stretches and shoulder stretches, things that open you and pull you outside of that driving position are going to be the things that carry the most bang for your buck. And you can use your door jamb, you can use the step up to your truck to stretch your hips and to stretch your shoulders. It's not hard stuff. It's just stuff that has to be consistently done for very short bursts of time.
You know what? So starting in April, we can do ride-alongs. And I'll bring on a ride-along with me.
I would love that, man.
Yeah, and you can kind of show me, different things. And I'll just take you on one trip. That way.
I'm 100% game, seriously.
Okay, all right, cool.
It's hard to understand a community without being exposed to that community. So if you
I want to talk more about this because I want to hear what some of the ideas are.
Okay, so if you want to reach out to Rick Garcia, you can reach out to him at rick@rootofmovementmodesto.com. Or you can call him at 209-602-5016. And if you want to visit their gym is at 518 12th Street in Modesto.
Saturday, 9 a.m.
Free class.
Free. F-R-E-E, free.
Carry Club.
Carry Club. All right, you were saying at the end of the last segment that you were going to go and do a ride-along with Justin. I mean, we're talking a truck driver.
Yep.
And truck drivers, they do have a lot of health problems.
Yep.
Probably the same, maybe more, I think more health problems than someone just working in an office because we do get up. We have to get things from the copier, etc. But they're stuck in that truck in it's not like you can even move around or spin your chair or anything. And then they usually end up quick food. Fast food. While, in an office, you can go out, you can bring your lunch, everything else. So I'm sure meal prep, you said nutrition is a big portion of it.
Absolutely.
But on the ride along with Justin, what are some of the things that he can do because he's stuck, buckled in, and what other truck drivers could do for heart health and everything else?
Yeah, you probably want to record that too, by the way, as we're doing that.
Yeah, that'd be
fun.
That'd
be great.
That'd be a good time.
And I remember I told you when I was young, I would do these exhales sitting in LA traffic. You said you might make Justin do it. Is that a good idea for people too?
Yeah.
Your exhaling muscles are the same muscles that you use in a lot of your core training. So if you ever kind of want to wake up your midsection muscles, you'll take a deep breath in. And then you kind of blow out all your air, like if you were blowing out a bunch of birthday candles. Imagine 70 candles on a cake, and you want to just expel as much air, and you'll feel your rib cage and your core muscles kind of cinch down, and then that's just a way to kind of wake them up. But really, the thing that gets truck drivers, and I obviously haven't been on the ride along yet, but just to speaking to some people who actually have been in the profession, is dealing with drivers is pretty stressful. The time limits that you have, I got to get here by a certain time. And that stress increase is one of the worst things for our overall health. One of the easiest and simplest ways that we can kind of just down-regulate our nervous system and get us out of that fight or flight that we can sometimes get into if somebody cuts us off or anything.
So the adrenaline and having to pay attention,
the cortisol
levels
increase and all that. And so that shifts us from what's called a sympathetic or fight or flight state in our nervous system, and we want to try to bring us back down to like a rest and digest or a parasympathetic. And the easiest way to do that, the simplest way to do that is just through your breathing. And so if you place like your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and if you try to breathe deep down in, like if you put your hand on your belly button and you try to breathe down into your belly button, what that does is it kind of tells your brain, like, oh, we obviously want to relax. Because most of us, when we're in a frightened or stressful state, we'll start to breathe up into our shoulders, that shorter breath rate. And that is telling our body, like, hey, we're stressed out and we're ready to do stuff, right? We're ready to fight or flight. So breathing in a more gentle, relaxed state tells your brain, even though this is not the best, I'm obviously not in danger, and then it will start to down-regulate all of those stress hormones. If you do that in combination with some good nutrition and bringing some healthier alternatives than just some other food on the road, you're going to go a long way into just feeling better and feeling less tired at the end of a drive, because then an adrenaline dump when you get home isn't as significant. In terms of ways to make your body move better while you're on the road, obviously, every time you stop, stretching your shoulders, stretching out your hips, when safe to do this, turning your head, moving your head around. Our balance and stability system is located in our inner ear.
Red lights or stop signs.
Exactly, right? So our balance stability center is called a vestibular system, and that's located in our inner ear. And so the more information or the more stimulus we give to that through moving our head, through turning up, looking up and down, what that does is it keeps that system online, and it doesn't get dormant by just having our head forward and our head hanging. So it's just easy things you can do, moving your shoulder blades around, squeezing your feet, squeezing your fist, trying to promote circulation. All easy things that you can do while driving. And then when you get out to take a break, fill up with gas, doing a little hip stretching, shoulder stretching, things that are easy to show you will just benefit how you feel.
That keeps you alert too, right? Because
I know keeps you awake.
I drive, like if I'm going to go up to Montana to see my daughter, I mean, I'll drive 15 hours straight. I mean, everybody knows a road trip with mom is we're not stopping.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do notice I don't want that road hypnosis. Yep. And so I'm always making sure that I'm looking around. I'm looking up at the mountains. I'm looking at the trees. I'm looking what's behind me. I'm turning my head. So that kind of keeps you awake too.
It keeps your nervous system awake.
And being aware of your surroundings so that car doesn't come up from any place.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not limited to driving. If you stare at a screen for a long period of time, periodically moving the parts of your body that are stuck in place for long durations is going to make you feel better.
All right. So you're listening to the Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Our guest today is Rick Garcia, co-owner of Rooted Movement. He can be reached at rick@rootedmovementmodesto.com, and the phone number is 209-602-5016. I think I almost have that memorized now.
I'm going to write it on a piece of paper for you.
Yeah, I know. I should have done that before. And then your gym is at 518 12th Street in Modesto. Okay, so.
Yeah, and we were also talking about, the longevity of life these days. Right. And they're even talking about that people could live to 120. And they're saying people with a lot of money tend to have a longer lifespan because actually people that have more money, I can look like a Kardashian if I had a private chef and my personal trainer came every single day and made me work out. So, but again, you don't need to have that money. It's the mental portion of it that you can make yourself your private chef. And, and then Marisol was also saying there's healthy prepared food if you don't want to prepare.
Marisol Madi, she teaches a Mastering Your Macros class once a month. The next one, I believe, is on January 11th, which I believe is next Saturday.
Can we find this on the website?
Yes,
for those
you can. Yes, okay. You can. And what it does is it basically she teaches people how to build a specific nutritional plan for them based off of what macronutrients they need. And macronutrients are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, right? And so how much of each one you need based off of what your goal is. She does it once a month. In February and March, we'll be donating some of the proceeds from each of those classes to the American Heart Association, something that we're looking to.
So if she puts together like a meal plan and
it's not a meal plan. No? That's the great part because the meal plan is based off of you. It's, hey, you need this much protein, you need this many carbs and this much fat. And how you fill those things in is up to you and based off your life. And sometimes it may be that I can cook everything by myself, or maybe there's days I'm on the road. But if I hit those markers, I'm giving my body the nutrients it needs to go in the direction that I want it to. And what she does is this 3-hour little class, and it's a little intensive, and she sits there and educates people about what goes into their body and what are the appropriate portions for each macronutrient for that person.
So now they say your insulin level goes up every time you eat, even if you eat something that's not, let's say, sugar-based or carb. So there's two thoughts out there. Eat small meals throughout the day, and some say eat only when you're hungry, and some say eat that one meal and make sure you eat that one meal a day. OMAD, at least 3 hours before you go to bed, and make that the packed nutrition. So is it different for every person? Does every person have a difference, or is one bad or one good?
None of them are bad. None of them are good. The good ones are the ones so none of them are bad. The good ones are the ones that work for you and your life. The thing is that success leaves a roadmap. And so you've seen people who eat 5 times a day who are healthy and fit. You've seen people who eat 3 times a day who are healthy and fit. You've seen people who do intermittent fasting who are healthy and fit. There's a nutritional plan called the Warrior Diet, which is one large meal a day. And if you get all your macronutrients in that one large meal, then you're good. And
so is it also like with plateauing, like you said, now start building some muscle, Justin, because that kind of shakes the body up. Is it good to switch off and people that have a low caloric intake, and then all of a sudden now I plateau. I can't go lower because my metabolism lowered. So we switch it up and shake up the body a bit?
100%. And it's the adaptability of the human organism. And you should eat a caloric intake that is built around what your goal is for your body. And so if you're trying to build muscle, the emphasis being on build, you need to have a caloric surplus. You need to have more calories floating around. And what those calories consist of, Madi can help you with, And if you're trying to reduce the size of your body or reduce your body composition, then you have to be in a caloric deficit. But you don't want it to be so extreme that you are going through that binge purge cycle, that yo-yo dieting. If you deprive yourself for such a long period of time, all you're doing in your mind is waiting for the time that you can cheat, right? And so what you want to do is create a place where you can reduce your calories a small amount, but it's something that you can maintain. We do it all the times in other aspects of our life. Hey, I want you to save up for college. And if someone told you, well, I need you to put 75% of your paycheck into savings, you're going to be like, that's crazy. I cannot live on 25%. And so, what if 5%? Oh, I can do that, right? And it's the same thing with
your
your
same thing as saving up for that dream vacation versus saving up for college.
And so we logically can wrap our minds around it when it comes to like finances or business, this, that, and the other. But nutritionally, we always think, it's got to be down to the bare bones because I want it to happen as quickly as possible. And it's something that we're going to talk about. We have a goal-setting event on January 25th. Is creating SMART goals, things that are realistic, things that are attainable, things that have a time period that you can say, hey, for the next 3 months, I'm going to reduce my calories 300 a day. And I can maintain that. That's a couple of things here and there that I can take out.
But if you want to increase your caloric intake, then you better be lifting weights, right?
So, we all do a good job of increasing our caloric intake all the time, right? That's how we gain so much weight over the holidays. If you want to make your body work harder so that those calories don't dent you as much, and the more muscle mass you have on your body, the more your natural metabolic engine burns. And that's what kind of gives you that buffer to, hey, I ate something fun, but I didn't really see the effects on my body.
Saturday, 9 o'clock. I live kind of far away. I've got to do this. It's
absolutely.
New Year.
It's great.
I want to live to 120.
Come on in. So you got good genes from where you grew up from the last time we talked to you. So.
And actually, Cassandra every once in a while teaches line dancing there too on Saturdays.
She does, and she's amazing too.
Yeah,
she's a wonderful human.
So
excellent.
And we got to talk good about her because her brother's right there.
There you go. Yeah. I try to surround ourselves with good humans, man.
So Rick, thank you for coming in today. We appreciate it. So if you want to reach out to Rick Garcia, give him a call at 209-602-5016, or he can be emailed at rick@rootedmovementmodesto.com. And your website, real quick, is
rootedmovementmodesto.com.
Okay. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeart Radio app. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-896-6500, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. The Community Corner is proudly sponsored by Lightspeed Graphics, a creative media agency specializing in video and animation. To get in touch with owner Kurt Gonzalez, simply text him at 209-617-2606 or visit his website at lightspeedgraphics.com. I was looking up things on Rooted Movement's website. So if you go to their website, rootedmovementmodesto.com, they got a free community class, or classes, I should say. So I was going through it. So Saturday, they have the Carry Club. It's called the Saturday Carry Club, I think. So it's Saturdays at 9 a.m., It's all about building functional strength through carrying various objects. It's not just a workout. It's fun, community-driven challenge that tests your limits and show what you're capable of. So you can join them at Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. for a 35-minute class. That's not that long.
That's not long. And you know what? Like we were talking off the radio, we were saying, what are you doing on Saturday? And we had, Tiffany's just going, sleeping in. And it's, a half an hour of your day. And it is a new year. We're not saying commit to every Saturday, but just see if you can put it on your calendar. If somebody else called you and they needed a business meeting, they needed you to call them on Saturday at 9 o'clock, you'd make that phone call. Mm-hmm. Or if it was like, I have to go to the store and I have to pick this up because we're, out of it, you'd be there at the store at 9 o'clock. Why don't you just make a commitment to yourself? This is my challenge. Make a commitment. One day in the next 4 weeks, show up at 9 o'clock for half an hour. Guess what? Then you can go back home, get into your pajamas and have your coffee. But I think it's going to change how you see your day. And I think we just need to have that discipline. And we talked so much with Rick also, and so much conversation with so much information when we weren't actually recording, but the show was only so long. But I'd say just going down there and meeting them and finding out all the different services, like that macro cooking class that's going to be coming up. But check out their website and start moving a bit, because everyone is going to live longer. But we have to, our bodies weren't meant to sit around at a desk
absolutely
or sit.
Not.
And then when we're tired at the end of the week, I don't think we're tired because we're physically tired. Of course, those that are working in a physically challenged job, construction, etc., they're not physically tired. They have those muscles that I find on my street, the men that are working in labor intensive jobs. They, on weekends, are the ones out in the backyard, rototilling. They're building something for their kids. They're up there fixing the roof. While the rest of us that are not moving our muscles and are just sitting for our jobs, we are exhausted on the weekend because of the stress.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do anything, and it has nothing to do with the physical activity, because our bodies certainly aren't physically tired. We're just mentally exhausted. So, that's the whole thing. There's no excuse.
Yeah, exactly. So really quick, I don't know if these ones are, I think this is last year's, because this one says Saturday, April 27th, and I think that doesn't fall on the 27th.
So we got to call Rick and say, because, but we do know that he says every Saturday at 9:00 they have the carry club.
And they always have something going on, because they've had, like I said, they've had Cassandra Augusto come in and teach line dancing, and I went to one of her classes. So they're always doing something.
But even also, we were talking about being less efficient in life, and they had done this whole study about that people that were overweight were much more efficient. And we were joking after the last segment about these people that sit there in the parking lot of the gym trying to find a closer parking space so that they can walk through the front door and then go on a treadmill. Yeah. And I'll go to the store and, I'll just find a parking space, and it might be, past the yellow line where the employees park. And then as I'm walking all the way to the store, they're still sitting there. So they're not saving any time. Yeah. So again, it's just they want to save how many steps they're taking.
Yeah.
God didn't give us these arms, legs, muscles, everything just to sit like a blob.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that I think we have to all get to.
Exactly. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin, Duncan, and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. So there's some other things too. Let me see if I can bring them. So they had this ruck with Rooted, and I have to see if they're going to do this again. So this might be a good idea for people to call to check to see what their community events are going to be.
Oh, yeah, and they're also going to do some vendors, local vendors.
Yeah.
And that's always good to get back to the community.
Yeah, but this Ruck with Rooted sounded kind of cool. It's to step into a great outdoors and join our community for a invigorating walk through downtown Modesto. So with Rucking with Rooted, you have the option to wear a weighted vest or go body weight as we embark on a 1.5-mile journey at a leisurely pace. For those seeking a faster stride, our coaches are on hand to guide a separate group. Bring your kids and furry friends along for a refreshing stroll through downtown Modesto, rain or shine. Remember to dress accordingly and bring your own backpack. We'll provide sandbags to add weight. So that says, and I'm not sure if this is going on, but I'm going to pretend it is.
I think it's important just the walking. It's like my mailbox is two doors down, but still it's refreshing to just get out walk down my driveway, walk down the the sidewalk, and then back. And sometimes I kind of wish that I could continue walking, but my arms are full of mail then.
Yeah.
But so just getting out there and moving, and that's something I am from Sweden, and it's something in Sweden we do almost like religiously. And it snows, like there's snow 8 months out of the year. Is after dinner, everybody gets up and takes a walk.
Yeah.
After dinner. And you don't see people here after dinner. They move on to the sofa if they had dinner in the dining room. Most people never left the sofa while they were eating dinner. And just, moving around, because otherwise that food is just sitting there. But
exactly.
Walking more.
Yeah. So this is one I think they still do. So this one is Live Talk Nutrition. And so it's live nutrition talk at Rooted Movement. Complement your physical activity with our live nutrition talk hosted by Rooted Movement. So basically what they do is they go on Instagram with a live stream, and they do classes.
I also wanted to bring up, to end the community saying we are a community and getting out there. And we were talking about the lost art of actually meeting with people and talking to people and getting to know people. Mm-hmm. And I had being in insurance, one of the saddest things is when someone is killed. And I had an entire family, except for their oldest daughter, were killed in an auto accident in Turlock. And so in January, there are a lot of accidents. People are stressed. They, they're in debt from Christmas.
Yeah.
They a lack of sleep. And so be careful out there on the road. Be aware of your surrounding. And yes, this family, they had the right of way. And it was someone else speeding that flew through the intersection, and that young man ended up dying also. Mm-hmm. But be aware of your surroundings. Stay healthy. We're talking about how we are going to make our bodies the best possible, live longer than before, eat nutritionally, but don't cut your life or your family's life short by, in a car accident.
Yeah.
And having the right of way, don't count on that other people are going to be doing the following the rules and everything else. And I just want this year to be the best for everybody. Best health-wise, safety-wise, and also Mid-Valley Pond. They, getting hit and losing $500,000 worth of merchandise. We have to support each other.
Yeah, we do.
Laws aren't for law-abiding people. That's what we were talking about, too. Yeah. You can make as many laws on the books, and you can make as many regulations. I don't need a law that says don't go into a store and steal.
Yeah.
Laws are not for the good people because we still follow them.
Yeah. So really quick,
I'm getting off my soapbox.
That's okay. So I want to do a quick shout out really quick. So there's a show that plays this morning at 7 a.m. called Behind the Badge. And they talked about that family that you were talking about.
The Lorenko family. Jennifer, Daniel, Matthew, Madeline, and then we have Emma. And she is now, she's able to breathe on her own. But I mean, we're talking devastating, absolutely devastating.
So I want to give a shout out to the police department in general, sheriffs, police, cyber patrol. We're all, I think about them.
Tough
job.
It's
a very tough job. So, but yeah, check out that show, Behind the Badge. It's a really good show. So if you're a business professional seeking networking opportunities, feel free to reach out to me at 209-896-6500 or drop me an email at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. Let's connect and grow together. Thank you for tuning in each week. We look forward to having you back next week. A heartfelt shout out to our dedicated producer, Mike Murray, and the general manager at KCBP, Jim Costello, for their invaluable contributions to our show. We also appreciate the hard work of our intern, Tiffany Alex, and Kirk Gonzalez from Lightspeed Graphics, Video, and Animation for capturing and inspiring our guests. Thank you, Jeanette, for joining me today on the Small Business Voice. Remember to join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. as we dive into the minds of local small business owners and even more insightful discussions. And a special thanks to our guest today, Rick Garcia from Rooted Movement, for sharing his expertise with us. Now, let's take care of business.